So I'd like to start off by reading a certain poem by Bukowski, Charles Bukowski, named The Crunch. The Crunch. Too much, too little, too fat, too thin, or nobody. Laughter or tears, haters, lovers, strangers with faces like the backs of thumbtacks, armies running through streets of blood, waving wine bottles, bayoneting and fucking virgins, or an old guy in a cheap room with a photograph of M. Monroe. There is a loneliness in this world so great that you can see it in the slow movement of the hands of a clock. People so tired, mutilated, either by love or no love. People just are not good to each other one on one. The rich are not good to the rich. The poor are not good to the poor. We are afraid. Our educational system tells us that we can all be big ass winners. It hasn't told us about the gutters, or the suicides, or the terror of one person aching in one place alone, untouched, unspoken to, watering a plant. People are not good to each other. People are not good to each other. People are not good to each other. I suppose they never will be. I don't ask them to be. But sometimes I think about it. The beats will swing, the clouds will cloud, and the killer will behead the child, like taking a bite out of an ice cream cone. Too much, too little, too fat, too thin, or nobody. More haters than lovers. People are not good to each other. Perhaps if they were, our deaths would not be so sad. Meanwhile, I look at young girls, stems, flowers of chance. There must be a way. Surely there must be a way we have not yet thought of. Who put this brain inside of me? It cries, it demands, it says that there is a chance. It will not say no. So, alright, so I wanted to emphasize on a specific line. This is a great poem. Bukowski is a great poet. I think if you're interested in poetry, you should read him. You might find him enjoyable, or at least he will give you, another idea, right, of how he sees the world through his eyes. Anyway, I want to focus on a specific line. Our educational system tells us that we can all be big ass winners. You know, I was thinking about that while I was making food, and it really bothered me, because I'm an optimistic person. I try not to be a pessimist. I would describe myself as an optimistic realist, which a lot of people will say, oh, okay, so you're just a disguised pessimist. I'm not. I am an optimist. I love optimism. I think it's great, and I think more people should be optimistic about stuff, right? But here's the thing. Our educational system tells us that we can all be big ass winners. That is true even by today's standards. This poem was, let me check if it says when it was written, because I don't remember. I can't find it, but anyway, it was written some time ago, okay? So when I think about this poem, or at least that specific line, I think, damn, the fact that nothing has changed since then is insane to me. Especially that part. Because we live in a society now that, tells us, oh, we can all get rich if you just do this and that, that especially that wave of those scammers essentially telling people how to get rich. And, they were just kind of lying to them in a way, and that they were making their money by lying to them, by telling them how to get rich and stuff, right? Because the reality is, there is this sad reality in the world that not everyone can be a big ass winner. And that's what Bukowski is touching at that line of the poem. Not everyone is going to be what they want to be. Like, not everyone is going to make it as an artist. Not everyone is going to make it as a singer. Not everyone is going to make it as a plumber. Not everyone is going to make it to what they want to be, right? However, that doesn't mean we shouldn't try. That would be ridiculous to say that because there's a chance you might fail, you shouldn't try. Duh. But I'm just recognizing how, in a way, it's beautiful, but in a way, it's a little ugly. Because the world is trying so hard to be hopeful, right? I go online, I see like some hopecore videos, right, or whatever. Like they be some guy like saying something motivational or telling people keep going, like in some way, right? That's the general message. But it's so sad because it's not like you'd see something like basic, let's say something like, oh, chase your dreams because what else are you gonna do? Okay, that was really lame. Let me think of something else. Maybe be so delusional that you can make it, something like that. Okay, that's a little better. So when I think about something like that, it's a great concept, right? You see it in a lot of like famous people as well, that their main thing was being delusional about their ideas, about their art, whatever they wanted to create and whatever they wanted to do. And that's great. And people should be, I think, more delusional about their not beliefs, but their things they want to do, right? They should try to be the artist they want to be and so on. But I think we run into an issue when we push this out on everyone, because a lot of people are going to get disappointed because a lot of people really hold on to these things strongly. They really think that as long as they are in a positive mind and they keep grinding away at it, it's going to work out, But there's another poem by Bukowski, actually, again. I'll find it. Give me 1 second and I'll read it to you. All right. I found it. It took me a minute. Okay, it's a little bit long, but bear with me. It's called So You Want to Be a Writer. If it doesn't come bursting out of you, in spite of everything, don't do it. Unless it comes unasked out of your heart and your mind and your mouth and your gut, don't do it. If you have to sit for hours staring at your computer screen or hunched over your typewriter, searching for words, don't do it. If you're doing it for money or fame, don't do it. If you're doing it because you want women in your bed, don't do it. If you have to sit there and rewrite it again and again, don't do it. If it's hard work just thinking about doing it, don't do it. If you're trying to write like somebody else, forget about it. If you have to wait for it to roar out of you, then wait patiently. If it never does roar out of you, do something else. If you first have to read it to your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your parents or to anybody at all, you're not ready. Don't be like so many writers. Don't be like so many thousands of people who call themselves writers. Don't be dull and boring and pretentious. Don't be consumed with self-love. The libraries of the world have yawned themselves to sleep over your kind. Don't add to that. Don't do it. Unless it comes out of your soul like a rocket. Unless being still will drive you to madness or suicide or murder. Don't do it. Unless the sun inside you is burning your gut. Don't do it. When it's truly time, and if you have been chosen, it will do it by itself. And it will keep doing it until you die or it dies in you. There is no other way, and there never was. So another great poem by Bukowski. So You Want to Be a Writer, that's what it's called. So what do I mean by I think this poem explains it pretty well. So we often think we want to do something and we want to be like these things, but we don't really do it. We just have a performance, right? We think we want to be an artist, that's our job, or we think we want to be a singer, or we think we want to write a book, or whatever. It doesn't have to be artistic hobbies. I'm not taking a job here, artistic hobbies. You might want to be an architect. But a lot of times people do it because of the status it gives, or the fame, or what people are going to think about you when you try and do it, or when you're doing it, right? And then you kind of fail at it and you go, why am I not winning? I believe in myself, right? I'm doing this every day, day in and day out. What is going on here? What is wrong? And this is where I think the whole being a big ass winner fails. Not to be a nihilist or anything, like a negative person generally. I think it fails in the area that, as Bukowski said, if it doesn't come bursting out of you, don't do it. because it's true. There's so many people that do things in life, right? Especially like look at like working like a job you don't like, working at a fast food place or at a supermarket or a restaurant. You know, people aren't really passionate about those jobs. That's why they half-ass them. That's why most people hate doing those jobs, right? Or look at people who study something in university because their parents told them that it would be good for them, or because, you know, their counselor told them it's a great job, you know. They do it well, but and sometimes those people who even do it half-assedly, they still succeed to like a good extent. But you can tell that they're not doing it because they enjoy it. And you might say, well, yeah, it's a job. You don't have to enjoy your job. And yeah, you're right. I mean, we are so in survival mode nowadays that we're so caught up in this. I need to have this and this, and I need to have this job in order to get this and that. It's survival mode, right? And nothing comes bursting out of you. It eats at you, right? It eats at your insides slowly, right, with time. And that's why if you're not like, if you don't truly desire these things, when everyone is not watching, when the world is not watching, when the eyes of the people are not on you, what are you doing? What are you doing, right? Are you still doing it? Do you feel the need to do that? Is there something in you that just comes from here and just bursts out and tells you, do this? Now, it is no secret. I like writing poetry. I like reading poetry. I'm a huge fan of it, right? But you will never catch me writing poetry by forcing myself to write it. I only sit down and write when I feel the need to write. I feel something working my brain and just coming out, right? Because if I read you a poem that I wrote, right, under pressure, under feeling like I wanted to perform, I wanted to write something, because there was this time in my life where I aimed to write a poem every day. And for a while, I was doing that, like, naturally. But there came a time where I no longer could do it every day. I just didn't have the same drive. I didn't have the same feelings bursting out of me to do it every day. And and then I forced myself, and I read my stuff, and I was like, this is shit. This is garbage. And I ripped it up and threw it away, because it just didn't came from a genuine place. It came from a place of just, you know, like force. It's a negative area, right? I forced myself to do that. So you have to realize this thing, that when you force something, you can't be a winner at it, right? You have to like it to an extent. Even the people, there's exceptions. There's everywhere exceptions. Jokic is not a fan of basketball, but he's one of the greatest players that we have right now in the NBA. And he's great, right? There's exceptions, right? But the point is that most people that make it somewhere make it because they truly wanted that. Kanye West wouldn't be where he's at if he didn't really want it, if it didn't like pour out of him, right? That's why he's so influential. Like, the way you're more influential with people as well is, especially in these areas, especially when it comes to artsy stuff, is if it truly comes out of you, right? It's when you have no need to perform anymore. It's when you have no need for society's acceptance. There was Van Gogh. I remember I watched the Van Gogh movie. Great movie. Willem Dafoe played Van Gogh really well. I liked it. But near the end of the movie, he, you know, at the start he was painting because he wanted to be like a known painter. He wanted to have people acknowledge his paintings. But then it got to a point where he just painted, and he kind of did it for himself. He no longer cared about what people thought of his paintings. He just wanted to paint. The simple act of painting made him happy, right? So that came out of Van Gogh, and that's what made him so great. That's arguably also near his death is when he made some of his best works, right? So, well, not near his death, but like, you know, like towards the end, the later years of his life, I'll say. So when you look at this stuff, you can be a big ass winner. This is not a negative video. You watching this can be a big ass winner. I can be a big ass winner. I have to put, and you have to put your pureness into it. Don't force yourself. When you force life, nothing good comes out of it most of the time. There's always exceptions. That's life. But the more pressure you apply, the less results you get. let things flow naturally. Let things come to you, slow down. You don't have to rush. You were never meant to see so many people succeeding around you. But now, due to our phones and social media, we see so many people online succeeding. 15-year-olds becoming world recognizable artists, singers, whatever. And you feel so behind and so like you're so caught up in this cycle of, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I can't, like the 15-year-old is doing better than me and I'm like 25 now and I don't know, like I haven't succeeded, I haven't done really anything. Like calm down, slow down, allow yourself to breathe. And if you're gonna create something, if you're gonna do something, do it and create it out of a need for yourself because it's coming out of you. Then it will be something that succeeds. When it's forced, it's never good. It's never good. It just ends up being garbage. That's just how life is, right? So because when it comes out of you, it's more genuine. So that's my advice. We can't all be big as winners because a lot of us perform for it. And there's obviously other people who genuinely, these things are bursting out of them and they can't succeed. Again, there's exceptions to the quote unquote rules. The rules are bendable. So yeah, not everyone can win, but if you do something genuine, something that comes out of you, out of genuine interest, out of genuine, like you need to put that out there, then you have better chances at succeeding than the people who force themselves to do something every day, right? Because it's more genuine, it's more original. That's my point. That's how you can become a big ass winner. You just apply yourself when you truly feel like you can apply yourself. And after that, that's that. You might succeed, you might not. What matters is that you keep persisting whenever you feel like applying yourself. And then you're good. And then you'll see. It might take you somewhere, it might not. Don't be disappointed by the result. Just be happy that you felt something and you were able to express it in some way. And that goes beyond art. Again, it goes to your job, to your life in general, right? So yeah, that's about it. Please do give it some thought yourselves and take care.